learning macros. Macros are a tool that you can use to program repetitive changes across a lot of text. It's good for streamlining the revision and editing process. So anyway, and just review, if you're using 2010, go into the View tab. There's your macro setting. If you're using 2007, or if you're in 2010 and you want to go a little further, File, Options, Customize Ribbon. Possibly impossible commands, mine's in Main tabs. Hit Developer, hit Add, hit OK. And if you want to move, you should be able to. Yes, if you want to move it, see, I don't like it. When I set it up, it put it default next to my home tab. I don't like it. So I clicked on it, and I'm using these arrows, and I want my developer tab to be after View. That's how I like it. And I hit OK. So as you can see, my developer has now moved to View. All right. Questions so far?
Can you hear me now, Allison?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. No, I don't have a question. I just wanted to know if it worked. That's all.
No worries. No worries. Okay, so now we've got our developer tab, or we're looking at macros in the View tab. These are, so in 2007, if you hit this, it just takes you to your macro library. This shows you all of the different macros I've made. I've been doing a lot this week, making sure I really have them down. You can also, hitting that view your macros lets you view your library, or you can record a macro, and that's what we call setting up the macro program. I'll get to that in a minute. In Developer, you just click this, and you got your macro library. 1 second, LaShawn, I'll get that in a second. You got your library, or record, or pause the recording. Okay, LaShawn, let's see. Your options doesn't have customized ribbons. What version of Word are you using? 2007? All right, let me see. Let's see. I'm not using 2007 myself. Okay, it has customize. Try customize. I went through a tutorial for 2007 to see. It does open the developer tab. Well, okay, but so you have the developer tab open, and you can see a macro program. Oh, you can't select macros at all? All right, well.
LaShawn, this is Sylvia. It sounds like your microphone is working because I can hear you typing.
See.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. You just said okay.
All right, well, yeah, LaShawn, I just don't want you to get let's see.
Don't worry about it. Just go ahead. We can take it offline. And I have somebody at my door, so I'm going to have to step away for a second.
And I actually have a link in my notes that I can send you that can try to walk you through it a little better.
Okay, good deal. Thank you.
Yeah. So, here, I'm just going to share this link right now. If anyone else is having trouble setting up the developer tab, that should guide you through it. I hope. Anyway, and this is being recorded, so if you need to, go back and watch it later, that's fine. Anyway, sorry for the delay. Anyway, so we're here, and we see where we can record a macro, or we can pause and start recording. So let's go set up a macro. I'll show you just a couple that using my, let's see, I don't actually remember all the ones I set up this week. But so you'll notice I have a couple of little icons in my quick access toolbar that I did not have before. Um, these are macros I've programmed and set. You can either set macros as two ways: as a button or as a keyboard shortcut. Like so for like if we want to make something bold, we hit Control B. Um, with a macro, you would set up a keyboard shortcut and have it, but you'd start it with Alt. I'll get to that in a second, though. But I'll just run one of these macros. So you noticed I hit this macro up in this one on the far left, and my address appeared. And I basically programmed a macro to contain my contact information. Let's see, what else are some of these? I'm going to highlight this. And I ran, and so sorry, I'll undo that. I hit Control A, I selected that, I hit this macro, all of a sudden everything's lowercase. So these are just some very simple formatting changes I've made. So let's go through how to do one. And first we'll set one up as a shortcut, and then we'll do one as keystroke. So I'll just go into developer, that's fine. Record macro. Macro name, we're just going to call this class macro 1. Normally you'd want to have the name be something similar to, something that tells you what the function of the macro is. Okay, now we're going to drop down here to store macro in. This distinction here is really important, where it says all documents, normal.m. That means whatever macro you record, it's going to be saved in Word and will run in any of your documents on this computer that have this version of Word. Store macro in document 2. That means this macro is only going to apply to this document. Why would you want that? The reason you would maybe save a macro to one specific document is if you're working on some big project that's going to have some unusual format. You just don't want to have, you're never going to use it again. You need it for this one project. And actually your homework, you're going to actually be saving it to an actual document. So because the other reason you would attach a macro just to a document is so you could share a macro between two people. Any macro you save as normal, you can't actually send me the macro. Any macro you save to a specific document, you can send me the document. I can then run the macro. So anyway, we're going to do class macro 1. Hit button. So it's going to allow you to save it either in the ribbon, this the big set of tabs on top, or in the quick access toolbar. I actually prefer I've saved a couple of macros to the ribbon. I much prefer saving them in the quick access toolbar. They're much easier to find, and you can just, hit one when you save it. Anyway, so you see now my cursor has this little record button. So now this little cassette tape button. So now what we're doing is, so it's going to record everything we do from here on out. So one of the things we can have it do is say to whom it may concern. We just be starting a basic basic letter greeting that we would want to save later. Then to stop recording, see this button down here? Click that. Stop recording.
Professor?
To test the macro, some reason.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Um, like where your address is,
Yeah.
let's say you go into a document and you already have an address. You mean you have to type it all over again? You can't copy?
No. Oh, okay. Let's see here. I'll open. So what happened is I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand your question, so I'm going to save it. So earlier this week, when I was, just practicing different things I could show the class, I set up this macro, and I set it up. It's similar to auto text. So I click this button, and then my address appears there. I already recorded it and told the macro, hey, when I hit this button, put my address in the top left-hand corner of this piece of paper.
Hmm.
Um,
And so what if it's like the first time, and let's say it's a document and you have the names and address of friends. In order to store it in macro, you have to retype it? There's no way
um,
to copy?
yeah. So okay.
You have to
Say
retype
I
all
had this
those
set up as
names
my
and
default address as a macro. My address changed. I moved. Say I moved. I could then go and edit the macro to indicate the correct information. So if we went into the macro library, what was that called?
like if I had a blank, like I have a document, I've never used macros, and I call up a document that has names and addresses of friends,
Mhm.
and or maybe like in three of those names and addresses, I don't feel like retyping them again. How can I save them into micro? Do I have to retype all
That's a
those
very
names and
good
addresses?
question, and I've never tried that. That
Yeah.
one did not occur to me. But
And I tried that and I couldn't figure it out.
humor me. Let's do an experiment here. This might not work, and if it doesn't work, we can try to research this on our own.
Okay.
But so say here are a bunch of addresses, and these are fitting in for several people's different addresses. My
Uh-huh.
guess is so we go record macro address test one. Um, and you know what? Since we're working, let's do this as a keyboard shortcut. Um, so I would hit Alt and then let's just do Alt Q, just
Okay.
because. Assign. So now it says Alt Q, close. So what I would do, um, select all, um, uh, and then copy, and create a new document, paste, stop recording. Don't know if that's going to work. Let's find out. So now I open a new page, Alt Q. No, that did not
Oh.
work.
Oh. I tried to
Sorry.
figure it out myself and I just couldn't.
And that's yeah, we're not gonna try to debug that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
that's. I'm sure there's a solution to that. I actually just don't know it off the top of my head. Because what I had planned to teach tonight were things like formatting and simple commands.
Okay, cool. Got it.
Sorry, y'all.
Thanks for trying. I know it's kind of hard, difficult.
And you have to bust out with the hard questions.
That sounds more like something that you would use for like a mail merge.
Yeah, that's something more
Yeah.
like with a mail merge, and which is not necessarily germane to this class, but would be useful to know. So
Yeah.
anyway, sorry about that.
That's the day.
Anyway, where were we? Shoot. Anyway, let's just try again with see, what was I gonna do? Oh, here. You know what? I had a fun one. Um, Item 4. I had a great one. You can write a macro to format things to go as certain lists. Um, so item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4. So we're going to record our macro. Um, list 1. Keyboard shortcut. Alt 6. Why not? my commands are not filling up with so many random arbitrary things I've done for making practice macros. I'm going to go select all, and then we're going to pick a list style that we want. And then we stop recording. So now say we make a new list, a big grocery list. Why not? Milk, eggs, soda, bread. Select all. Alt 8. Did I say Alt 6? Thank you. And then bam, we have that the way we set it up. And so now it formats that list very pretty for us. So if you want all of your lists to look the same, say you're writing some how-to guides and you want to, you're working for a company that does these sort of quick how-to sheets and you want them all to have the same format with different context. Well, now you've structured your heading. Oh man, I've got so many open documents now. Save now. That's another fun thing. You can program specific headings. So, um, and the one thing, so I'll show you how to set up a heading and some font with some specific formatting and font size. One thing to note is when your macro is recording, every keystroke you make will be saved to the macro. So if you want to create a macro that displays a specific bit of content, so I ran my address macro. When the macro was running, that is when I typed my address. But if you want to just do a formatting thing, you can't type the text while it's happening or it will get confused. So say here, I'll show an example. So say I want to run a macro that makes my address bold. Address bold. Keyboard shortcut, Alt 2. Okay, so now I'm going to make it bold, and I'm going to make it bigger, and I'm going to hit the recording. Alt 2. Oh, right. Text. Okay, so I've set it up, so now whatever I type, here, let me show that again. So we've got Garamond 12 unbold. I hit Alt 2, bold is automatically turned on, font size is now 18. So I can type and everything is bold and in this big header format. If I want to do a macro, however, if I want to, well here, I'll just record another one. So, not all caps, fast macro 2, Alt 1. So for this one, I'll just type test, select, I actually don't want to select all, whatever. You know what, we'll just select it all, it's fine. We gotta make everything red, and then stop the recording. Hit Alt 1. See, it's gotten confused because I was typing text first. So if you want formatting, you have to have your sort of base text there already. If you want to write a macro to generate a specific kind of text, you don't type the text until after the macro is running. Does anyone have a question about that? Because it's a very crucial distinction to the success of your macro. All right. Oh, I'm not hearing anyone have questions. I didn't mean to hit Chrome again. Web Connect only runs in Firefox for me. So I can't get it to run in Chrome, which is why I'm running. Um, so those are the biggest things. At this point, would anyone like to see a demo of another macro? All right. You know, I will show one more macro because this one was something that I learned while I was testing them for this week. So say I want to do a specific, so you've got all these automatic heading styles here. Specific heading. Um, so we're going to import our macro, heading, I'm just going to call it heading. Keyboard Alt-3. So the macro is running. So I'm going to select the text, and I want this, let's say I want this centered. I uncentered it for some reason. So I want that, and I want that centered. Stop recording. Alt-3. It hasn't saved my text, it just saved my formatting. So then I can type new heading, and there it is with the specific formatting. However, I've also noticed that macros will only record, they're kind of limited in a lot of these text effects, this color, highlighting, shading. So that's just going to go, we're going to make some obnoxious text. Record macro. Alt-4. Select. Let's do outline and make it huge. And do a purple outline. And we're you know, messing around with this to be funny. Do a reflection. Stop the macro. See? And it only preserved the giant size change. It didn't preserve any of this. I've never really gotten it to preserve any of this. I've looked around for documentation. I take that as a sign from the universe that Word really does not want you to automatically program obnoxious drop shadows and things that actually make it harder for the reader, to understand. That's how I see it. Anyway, so those are some super basic macros. And no one appears to have questions. So, and we're coming on half an hour. We did get started a little late because, you know, it happens. But I did want to call y'all's attention to, we're going to be doing a lot with gradually building custom templates. But I wanted y'all to take a quick look at some of the default automatic templates available to you in Word. I don't use them very often. I don't like them because, I mean, they're structured documents. You put in your content, and then you have something. But it's sort of difficult to do anything. Yes, Charles? Sorry. Charles, did you have a question? It told me you raised your hand. Okay, Charles is typing. Let's give Charles a minute. I don't want to run ahead of I don't want to rush ahead of everyone. Okay. Is the majority of your macros set up to format large documents consistent between users? Okay, that's a good question. Um, that's a good question. So I'm just going to go back in here. We're going to pull up the recording session. Um, so yeah, macros are designed to, you know, documents. If you're saving something to normal, that's not going to enable you to use that macro between users. If I macro and saved it specifically to this document here, document 18, I could email any one of you the macro, or email any one of you the tell you what the macro is, and then you can use it. But you can only apply it again to that document. You can't like put a macro on a zip drive and take it over to your desk and say, hey, here, copy this macro to your machine. That's not really how it works. Macros are very simplistic. It's super simplistic programming, so they're not necessarily robust for sharing. If you wanted to share a macro, save it to a specific document and then email that document to someone else. Now, what you can do is you can edit documents, edit macros, and wow, that's actually more complicated than I would like. um, you can organize them. That's what I meant. So I've opened up. What did I do? Macro. Address test one. That's another address macro I ran. Go into organizer. Um, it's available. I have it saved here. Well, yeah, it shouldn't be saved in just the document. Let's do one we did just for class. Okay. Oh, I see. So it's saying nothing is specifically available. There we go. File available in. So it's saved in here. You can try to save it in here. I'm sorry, I don't actually know if you can switch it from a document specific to a whole normal thing. I'd have to look that up. That wasn't something that occurred to me. It's not something I've had to do before, but I can add that to my notes about that. But just to reiterate, if you save something to normal, it's tethering it to your machine. If you save something to a specific document, it's tethering it to that document, and if that document is transmitted to a collaborator, then they can run that macro on that document. Anyway, sorry to get kind of long-winded there. Anyway, where were we? Okay, so I just wanted to draw your attention to change gears pretty heavily, but draw your attention to some of the default Word templates. So we would go to the File tab, New. So up in New, over here you've got the blank document, the standard thing everyone uses. We have some available templates, like things I've used recently, a blog post. My templates are things that I have used and downloaded from Word, or ones that I have made myself that I don't do that often. But then we can go in and there are lots of templates available from office.com. So hey, agendas. Now it's searching, da 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 da. And look, there are all these different agendas you can choose to download and fill in. Let's see, do flyers, advertisement, door hanger. So I've got that downloading. Let's well, so it's got this car wash fundraiser, but I can do it, and I can click on the content. Let's raise money for diabetes. And hey, look, it's saving the changes on both sides of the flyer, and then I can save it. It doesn't save it as a template; it just saves it as a regular document. So it lets you see, it says purpose here, it lets you edit the purpose. You can edit the date. Friday, September 19th. Tab, look, it saved itself over here. So that's some of the benefits of templates, is that, you know, they're structured, they've got design. You can't really futz around with them too much in terms of the design. You can't sort of make content, and it can automate them for you. So in addition to writing and sending me a macro attached to a document, I send an email about that, I want you to just find you know, like a short flyer or agenda or budget of some or just something that some sort of template, and you know, enter some content in there and send it to me just to show me that you've practiced with those. Um, so, are there any questions?
Allison, I don't have a question about templates, but I would like to stay online for you to help me out with the developers tab, because what I was getting, I was seeing the functions, but I was not actually able to add the entire developers tab.
Okay. Yeah, I'll work on you when we are done with this. I don't use 2007, so I'll be sort of flying blind, but I'll definitely help you with that.
I have 2007, I just haven't loaded it on my, I mean 2010, I just haven't loaded it on my computer.
Right.
Sean, you have 2007?
Yes.
Okay, now the way I did it is I went to okay, because I didn't have the ribbon either.
Okay.
So then what I don't even have I guess I can let me open Word 2007, and when you open it up, my computer's kind of slow, probably because we have the Connect here, and so you go to the and you know where it says, go down where it says Word Options.
I'm there.
Okay, and then
Customize.
no, where it says Show Developer tab in the ribbon, you have to put a check mark there.
But which along the side where it says Word Options, I see popular display. It's under popular.
Right. It says Show Mini Toolbar, Enable Live Preview, and the next one is Show Developer tab in the ribbon.
Got it. Thank you.
There you
go.
Might, and then you
if it's not under popular, it might be under main, because that's where I found mine when I was setting up the developer tab.
It's there now. Just checking that box populated it. Thank you.
Okay, great.
You're welcome.
Thanks for helping.
Okay. I actually got that from YouTube because I just couldn't. I tried that help on Word, which is lousy and frustrating, so I just did it on YouTube.
Gotcha.
And I found it.
Who's that speaking? Thank you.
It's Sylvia.
Yeah. Okay, Sylvia, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, yeah, we appreciate the help. All right, if there, let's see. Oh, Charles is typing. Okay. Oh, okay. There's some question about the assignment. I'm sorry. So the macro assignment for this week does not involve a partner. The partner work is for next week, week 5. So this week is week 4, the 16th through the 22nd. The 23rd through the 29th, I'm out of town, and so the material for that week is partner work. So this assignment related to macros you do on your own. The assignment we're doing next week on layout, and the tutorial has already been recorded and posted. The tutorial, that's going to be, it's just going to be a little mini partner critique. You know, just to, again, students wanted to interact with each other more, so I thought, since I'll be out of town anyway, this is a good way to get people talking to each other. Okay, it looks like a bunch of people missed the macro assignment via email, so once this class is done, I will go resend it, and I will send along a link to this class, so if you want to review it on your own time, you can, because I realize that, you know, a lot of this is new and it's tough for people, so definitely you can feel free to go and rewatch it.
Allison, I have an additional question. It's not about any of the assignments. It's about the syllabus. I know that there's a syllabus that's been posted, but it has no grades. And I'm a person who likes to see how I'm progressing as far as grade wise. I have a great GPA with ACC, want to keep it, and I'd like to know what each assignment is weighted because
Well, each
the
assignment,
job.
like the first assignment was worth 20 points, and the second assignment was worth 15 points. And I think I forgot to mention the 15 points in the second assignment, but an assignment is either for credit or it has a point value. And I'm Charles. I'll get to that in a second. And what I'm trying when so yeah, and so what I should be doing, and if I forget, then remind me. Is for each assignment there should be, this assignment is worth X points.
Instead of doing it with each assignment so that we have a lay of the land, because it could come December with our jobs, like with my job. We have the sprint releases software because I'm actually doing technical writing. And with that, some weeks I'm working 60 hours. I may not be able to focus as much. I need to know in advance where I really have to focus so that I get my points, maintain my A.
Well,
That's what I'm
okay.
getting at.
I
I
mean,
need to know in advance.
in a couple, there will be a percent. The thing, I haven't written all the assignments yet. Like I said, I got hired on to do this at the last minute, so I'm developing it as I go. So I haven't written the assignments for the rest of the semester yet. I do.
When do you anticipate that will be done?
For the final project, let me pull up on the syllabus when I have that you're getting your information about your final projects.
Allison,
Yes?
I'm sorry. This is Sylvia. Is the Web Connect session over? Because I have to leave. I thought it was just 30
Yeah, feel free to
minutes.
go ahead. Feel free. I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm
answering
supposed to
questions right
be
now.
somewhere, and
No worries. If you don't have any other questions, go ahead.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah.
So I can go ahead and just exit out, or do I need to stay in? Because I think we're talking about other things, and
Yeah, but it'll be recorded. So,
oh, okay.
yeah, so if you want to go back and just see the questions you missed, I'll send out the link.
Okay, because I don't have I pretty much understand, so but
Yeah, that's fine. Just exit, I think just exit out of it.
okay.
Okay.
Alrighty, well, thanks a lot. I enjoyed it.
Good,
But
I'm
yeah,
glad.
I have to pick up somebody at 7:30.
No problem.
Okay, so bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Anyone
bye.
who doesn't have further questions, you can go ahead and clear out if you want, and if you want to come back and wonder what we were all talking about, you can come back later, because this will be recorded. Um, anyway, so week 6, we're getting information about final projects. So that means I'll actually have information about final projects sent out to you no later than this Monday, since I'm going to be out of town. Well, I'll be coming back into town late on the 30th, but I know you all are going to want that information right away. So,
Okay.
the final project, let's see. So, um, the final project is 30% of the grade. So that's the biggest thing you need to focus on. Or that's the
Okay.
biggest single assignment you need to focus on. Um,
Good deal.
what did I just do? We've got this little grading policy up here. That when I put together, and plus there are opportunities for extra credit, um, on there. Um, like we had one 2 weeks ago, and then both this week and next week there are opportunities for bonus points. Um, it's the every assignment is worth points, but the biggest thing for me is doing the book build and just turning things in. You don't have to do it. What's more important to me is you do the work, even if you don't get a 100% every time. What I'm waiting more is you actually turning things in. Um, and then, like I said, there's opportunity for bonus points. In week 5, you can get like 20 bonus points, which is, worth as much as the very first assignment we did. So, and I know, like, I think this is a little less structured than you'd like. And I do apologize. I'm, you know,
Well, thanks, Allison. At least you're trying to work with us and you're working through it. Thank you.
I've never taught online before. I've been away from teaching for 5 years, so, and,
Gotcha.
but definitely I wouldn't worry about you. Your first couple of assignments were great. Charles, I see your question about the grade spreadsheet. I shared it with you, so let's try to work that out via email later. Anyway, so I think, any other questions? All right. Charles, I'll email you about not being able to access your grades. I'm going to quit recording.